Here on GoPSUSports.com, our weekly check-in with Penn State hockey head coach Guy Gadowsky. Coach, team coming off a split over the weekend. What did you see from Friday to Saturday, improvement areas for your team?
Well, we cut our odd man rushes against in half, so that was probably the biggest improvement and probably the biggest factor for having success Saturday instead of Friday. However, that being said, cutting it in half is still not good enough. We do have to get better, but that was probably the biggest area of improvement that we had.
Well, on Saturday, you put James Robinson with Chase Berger and Andrew Sturtz as well. Robinson, a hat trick, only the fifth hat trick in program history, and Andrew Sturtz ties a program record with 4 assists. What did you see from that trio?
A lot of energy and a lot of identity, and that's exactly what, when we had a player suggest that line in the past, that's exactly what they had in mind, and I have to admit they were 100% right. You know, quite an accolade first with Sturtzy. Not only the record is 4 assists, but you know, to surpass Casey Bailey, that's a great accolade. Casey's a tremendous goal scorer. For Sturtzy to do that, I mean, it's a well-deserved accolade and a really big one, and he deserves all the congrats to do it. But I love the fact of what he brought, the inspiration to the rest of the game. And speaking of inspiring, when you have a captain doing everything right, if Jimmy Pucks didn't get 1 goal, he still would have been a star of the game for how he, you know, for how he forechecked, how he backchecked, how he chased down icings and touched first. He was tremendous. He just played a tremendous game all around, and as I said before, often the hockey gods will reward that, and they certainly did with Jimmy Pucks.
When you're on the bench, do you feel that being contagious to the other guys out there on the ice?
Yeah, 100%. And that's when you talk about leadership, it takes forms, many forms. But I feel the most effective part of that is when you have someone that can inspire you, not with your words, but in what your actions do. And Jimmy Pucks, how he played, aside from getting the goals, was exactly that.
As a coaching staff right now, the team without a couple of key players. So what are you evaluating when trying to put lines together and defensive pairings where your team feels that identity you want?
Yeah, this is an interesting time for us as a coaching staff, and unfortunately it's fairly early in the year, but we're really hit by the injury and illness bug, and it's something we have to deal with, and we'll evaluate in practice as long as we have things in our mind, but we'll evaluate as we go along the week in practice and see what synergy we can find.
On the road at a top 10 team, Notre Dame had a big win last year there in overtime. In fact, a tie and an overtime win in that series. What does it take now to go on the road and win against the Irish?
It's something we're going to have to learn with. We're learning things every year. Every team, every season is new, and it takes on its own identity and forms, and this is one of the other steps in it. We're facing a great team in Notre Dame in league play this time, so I don't know if things are going to be different that way. I know their students are also going to be on campus, which didn't happen last year, so it's going to be an interesting environment and a great atmosphere, and we'll see what we have.
Coach, we wish you luck against the Irish.
Thank you very much.
Penn State head coach Guy Gadowsky with us here on GoPSUSports.com.